Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Conostep and this is going to be part 10 of my early campaign where I am playing as the Almohads. And I finally have boats in the water, folks. So I am finally able to fight back against the Italians and now the Sicilians, who are also at war with me, but not actually. You see, there's some, I guess some weird rules of engagement that occur in this game. So I know in Shogun, when you do not share a land border with a foe that you were facing, there would be an automatic ceasefire called, and in this game there does seem to be some kind of strange little rules of engagement when it comes to naval battles as well. So I'm guessing at this point that maybe if a turn passes without having any boats in the same province as someone that you were at having a naval combat with, then that ceasefire is called and then you go back to being neutral. And currently that's where I'm at. I'm neutral with the Italians and the Sicilians. As you can see, I'm not at war with either of them. Now I do, as you can see, have boats in the same province as the Italians, but maybe that occurred, maybe there's a turn in between where I didn't have any and that ceasefire was called. In any case, I do have 2 boats built up here in the Gulf of Lions. So that does mean that I've been given at least a little bit of leeway by the Italians to, build up that ship, which feels good, and that makes me wonder if this is over between me and the Italians. I'm not seeking a war here. I do not want a war, so I'm not going to try to instigate anything here, and if I can just continue to build up my ships and to look like I should not be attacked, that'd be good. So if I can at least build up enough ships to kind of dissuade them from attacking me, that would feel really, really good. Now in this case, I do have a boat down here in the Gulf of Gabes as well, and I'm working on another boat here in Tunisia. So it's a work in progress. I, at this point, am building boats in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 provinces, and at the end of this turn, I will be able to build boats in Algeria as well, because as you can see, I'm building... Oops, no, did not remove that. I am building a ship right here in Algeria. So it's going to be 6 provinces where I can build up boats, and that should get things rolling along. Now, because of that, my economy is kind of struggling a little bit. I only have 1,600 in the bank right now, and I'm only, coming up with 530 florins per year, which, at least I am in the positive. I'm in the green. That's all good, but that's not really giving me a lot of room to train soldiers and obviously work on my infrastructure. That would be nice. I keep on looking at Portugal. Like, this is so tempting to kind of nip on over here and just take it off the rebels, but Portugal really is not worth much until you build up the trade income, quite honestly. The trade income could be good because I think wax and I think olive oil is pretty rare. So I think there is a lot of money to be made in Portugal, but you really have to, build up that trade route and that trade empire to make that worth it. And that's just not really my priority right now. I don't think it is. It's tempting, it really is, but there's just no point. I think I have to really kind of pull the reins in on that one and kind of tell myself, no con, bad con, don't do it. Don't do it. Just kind of focus on boats. Focus on boats. Also focus on, there's something like the Egyptians just, this kind of worries me. The Egyptians have just kind of had their king hanging out here in Egypt, and I know it looks like I have a lot of soldiers here in Cyrenaica, but this is all peasants, so don't be fooled by this. And then these armies they're not super, they're okay, but it is bolstered by a lot of Saharan cavalry, which I can't actually train here in Cyrenaica. So I'm going to be bringing over 2 more, somewhat kind of half stacks over here to Egypt as well, just to try to help out. I might keep one of these in here in Algeria just to try to further protect myself from any potential attacks from the Sicilians or the Italians. Now, for the moment, I should be fine here in Morocco because I don't think the Italians can attack me until they take out these ships, and I have 2 here. So that's a bit of ships that they have to get through before they can, bring troops down to Morocco. I don't think they can come through this way. That would involve them having a boat here in the Western Mediterranean. that would involve them having boats that are deep sea capable, and I don't think that they have any yet. I think that that is something that most factions don't have access to until later on in the game. Now, Muslim factions can actually build their deep sea boats earlier than Catholic factions, which is a fantastic bonus or advantage that we have, but I'm not going to be doing that right now. I did consider it in the last episode. I was thinking, oh, I don't know, what was I looking at? Maybe building a dockyard, because then I can build the Bagalas, and it not only is it deep sea capable, but it does fight better than a Dao. So it's tempting, it really is, but I just, the fact that I'm sitting on a 1600 florins treasury, I don't think I can really spend that money on a building right now, honestly. I think I really need to kind of pump everything I have into DAOs, and the fact that I have been given a little bit of a leeway here, and I have a little bit of room here to actually, possibly build up to a 2-ship fleet here in the Gulf of Gabes. I already have a 2-ship fleet here in the Gulf of Lions. And I'm 2 turns away from having a 2-ship fleet here in the Costa Verde. And once I have a 2-ship fleet in these provinces, in these sea provinces, then I can build from there and start sending ships to the Bay of Biscay, potentially for trade here in Brittany. And then once I have a ship in the Bay of Biscay in the Costa Verde, then I can start sending a 2-ship fleet down the coast, to kind of push into the Spanish coast and potentially trade with them, and keep moving down and try to link all of my sea provinces that surround my my territories here. So I think really I just have to kind of keep my head down and keep focusing on building up ships. Now, I also don't want the French to attack me, because the French have an emissary hanging out in Navarre that tends to indicate that they are spying on me. I think that my troops, I don't know, it's decent, it really is, but I should look at reinforcing Aragon and Navarre at some point. Yeah, I really should. Maybe I could just bring up my king's army. I've been kind of having them sit down here in Cordoba because I can reach so much from here. Actually, that's actually not a bad idea, because I can simply just bring them up to Aragon if I have to. So because of my ships here in the Gulf of Valencia and the Gulf of Lions, I am, essentially connected to Aragon from Cordoba. So if I had to, I can reach. I can go up here and reinforce here if I had to. I can't do that in Navarre in 1 turn, but I can still get there in 2 turns. And I still think that what I have in these provinces is decent enough. The French forces are consisted of a lot of peasants and some pretty basic soldiers. Spearmen, archers, nothing too scary here. And in Toulouse, Hoblars, decent light cav, urban militia, peasants, archers, more Hoblars. I don't think I'm too worried, to be honest. And the king, the king is a 0-star general. He has 5 acumen, though. King Jean II, weak principles, natural leader, so they are going to get +2 morale from him. And, that's pretty much it. So, +2 morale is good, but 0 command's bad, so, I do have an emissary, and I do want to keep trying to get an alliance with him if I could. We will see if he accepts that. Also down here, I do want to try to get an alliance with the Egyptian as well. He's just been pretty stubborn. He really doesn't want to be my ally, but perhaps once I get these armies over here, and they're literally just sitting in Cyrenacia, being like, hey, come at me, bro, then maybe he'll be like, alright, maybe I should do something else. And they totally could. Like, I know it's not totally practical for the Egyptians, but they could build a navy and just attack other places. I know they're stuck between me and the Turks, but they don't have to attack me and the Turks. They can just build a navy and, help the Turks fight the Byzantines, or they could help me fight I don't want to fight anyone right now, but, they don't have to stick their nose in this. They can go do other things if they so choose to do so. I know that the AI is not completely incapable of doing naval invasions, so that would be nice to see the Egyptians think of that as an option instead of attacking me. Now, like I said, once I have these forces here in Cyrenacia, and the reason why, I know this looks like it's overkill, but I just don't have Cyrenacia connected to the rest of my provinces, so if I lose it, I'm really kind of in a bad position here. because it's going to take forever to bring soldiers over to Cyrenacia. So the best defense is to make sure that a war doesn't happen in the first place. The fact that they have an emissary here means that they are spying on me. It's hard to see him, but yeah, he's hanging out right there. So they are spying on Cyrenacia. So I want to get these soldiers over to Cyrenacia just to really show the force and be like, hey, don't do it. Don't do it. And then I can really just focus on getting the rest of my soldiers up to Aragon and Navarre with whatever money I can afford at that time. I think I'm pretty much just training soldiers for Morocco right now, because every other province that I can train soldiers at, I'm training boats instead. With that in mind, I would really want to build a town guard, because that is going to allow me to train militia sergeants, which is a decent polearm unit, and then my Almohad urban militia, which of course are just meat grinders. And it's only 400 florins. It really would be nice. Like, it's not, you know, it's really not expensive. Plus, Granada gives a +1 honor or valor bonus for my Almohad urban militia. That would be fantastic. I just don't think I can afford that right now. It's just a little bit too tight, because the money that I do have, I want boats. I need to be able to train more boats until I'm making enough money off of trade income. So hopefully things with the French stay good. Hopefully things with the Egyptians, they will be good. Like in 2 turns, these forces are going to be over there, and everything's going to be fine. So as long as they don't attack me in those 2 turns, yeah, fingers crossed. And yeah, I can't build any buildings. I just really can't justify that. I can't justify attacking Portugal, and the only thing I can't justify is building more boats. So unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit of a single-minded episode, unless I do get attacked. Of course, that is always an option. So let me double check taxes, make sure that I'm getting as much money as I can here. I can bump up Granada, it seems, to normal. Yep, that looks good. Cordoba, Valencia, let's see if I can bump you up. Yep, that looks great. And then Castile, let's bump you up to very high. And that looks good. Aragon and Navarre. Where does that put me at? 714? Alright, that's 714 is good. 714 is good. I'm glad that I double checked that. So I should be ready to move on here. Correction, I'm almost ready to move on here. Remember this guy, Prince Umar, the guy that came of age in the last episode? He's the worst. He's the worst heir that I've ever seen in my life. This is just incredible. 0 loyalty and 0 everything else except for acumen. And this is something to keep an eye on. Obviously, I put him in my king's stack just to keep him, you know, so that my king can keep a close eye on him. And that's good and all. But when my king dies, that would mean that Prince Umar would be in control of this whole stack. And I don't think I want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Prince Umar up to Aragon for now. I want to bring him up to Navarre as kind of the his final destination, so that I have 2 Gulam bodyguards, my 2 heirs in Navarre. Let's see, Prince Ibrahim has pretty decent loyalties here, so that seems like a good person to put him underneath. So let's I can't bring him to Navarre in 1 turn, so let's bring him up to Aragon. And then, yeah, in the next turn I can bring him to Navarre. So that should be fine. Yeah, I just don't want him to be in this stack when my king dies. Like, I could wait a little bit, because my king is only 54, so he's not going to die of old age, like, right now. But if I just forget, and then 10 turns go by, then I'm like, oh no, I just have a civil war, and that would suck. So, yeah, let's get Prince Umar up here. Also, it's just good to, I mean, it's another unit of Gulam bodyguards. Like, yeah, he sucks, but it's still, I mean, Gulam bodyguards are still a good unit. So let's put him up on my northern border to further protect me from the French if they decide to attack. So, all right, now I think I'm ready to move on. So let's drop a save, and let's end this turn. Insufficient funds. Oh man, what? Why? What? Really? Was I trying to? I think I was just training building boats, right? I didn't think I was trying to build that many boats. How much am I paying for a Dow? Am I paying 6 or 7? Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. I called it. No way. I can't believe that. He died at 55? 55, right? Oh my god, that was clutch. That was fucking clutch. I mean, just imagine if Prince Umar, with his zero loyalty, was in command of the Almohads, or the you know, the Almohads, the king's stack right now in Cordoba, my capital. Oh dear, that would have sucked. Huh. Wow. Oh man. All right, shipwright is completed in Algeria, so I can start building ships there. I just can't believe that. And then a famine in Cyrenaica. Honestly, not that big of a deal because I'm not making any money there anyway. That is going to affect the population loyalty. It never says that here. So like anytime there's a natural disaster or a famine or something, it says income halved, but it also does affect the population loyalty, which means that you have to lower your taxes even lower. So it lowers the money more than more than you think. In this case, because I have so many troops here, I'm pretty sure I can keep my taxes at very high and not have any issues with that. But always keep that in mind. Sure enough, the Egyptians really don't want to be my friends, so whatever, screw them. And then yeah, same thing with the French. They just they don't want to be my friends. Too bad. Prince Abdullah, charismatic. So yes, plus 10 happiness, plus 1 morale. Good stuff. Sharaf ibn Sharaf is a drinker. Not a big deal. Nazar ibn Nazar. Some really creative names here. Most eloquent, plus 2 piety, plus 2 acumen. Amir el-Hakam, very honest, plus 1 loyalty, plus 1 morale. All right. Alrighty then. Yeah, so the new king, 43, Khalifa Ibrahim II. And yeah, this is decent. I think this is better than the last guy. 2 command, 3 dread, 4 piety, 5 influence, 2 acumen. Yeah, that does seem a little bit, except he's always drunk, yeah. -2 command, -1 acumen. But I think that's already factored into this. I really hope so. Because that would be easier to read. Like, it'd just be stupid if you had to read this and then subtract from this. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that the vices and virtues do already factor into what you're seeing right here. So the fact that he has 3 command and 2 acumen, even though he's always drunk, is still like, all right, go you, functional alcoholic, sweet. So that's acceptable, I suppose. And because, so this guy, Umar, yeah, you can just go hang out in here in Navarre, where you're going to be in the leadership of... Oh, okay. That's a good thing I checked. So, yeah, this guy, Khalifa Ibrahim II, was this guy. He was the guy that was right here in Navarre. So, okay, who do I want to hang out here in Navarre? Probably not you, because your loyalty is only 4. Ooh. Your loyalty is only 4. Huh, okay, well, so what's the better idea here? Do I put Prince Umar in command of the guy with 4 loyalty? Or do I put him in command of the guy with 6 loyalty? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the right answer there is. I kind of want to bring him down just to hang out with the king again, because at least this guy is 43, you know? At least he'll be alive for, another 10 years, I hope. But it would be nice to have some Gulen bodyguards on my northern border. And the fact that the French king has moved over to Aquitaine, and that, Aquitaine borders Navarre, and that there's a French emissary hanging out in Navarre, that does make me want to have at least 1 unit of Gulen bodyguards in Navarre for sure. So yeah, what is the right call here? How about, you're a 5-star general, so how about you go over to Navarre and you can help defend. Man, I really hope the French don't attack me here. They shouldn't. They really shouldn't. But like they have 2 full stacks, but it's like it really is crap. It really is crap. What do I have? Just slightly better crap. I mean, I have 2 units of Almohad Urban Militia, and like those 2 units of Almohad Urban Militia could like cut through a lot. Like they can beat like a lot of the infantry here. A lot. Yeah. And then Aragon has 3 units of Almohad Urban Militia. That's not enough. It really isn't. Yeah, how about, gosh, how about I just actually bring my king's army up to Aragon? Because the nice thing about having boats in the water is that not only, yeah, I don't think that the Sicilians or the Italians, it's like having an early warning system, right? They have to kill my boats first before they attack me on the land. So they can't do that on the same turn. They have to spend one turn killing my boats, and then a second turn, you know, doing the naval invasion. So I think that's actually a good idea. Send my king up here, and then if I do have to come back down and, you know, defend against a naval invasion, I'll already know because they'll be killing my boats. So yeah, that seems like a good idea. Bring my king up to Aragon, and maybe spread the love up here a little bit. Maybe I can bring. So this is Prince Umar, right? You're hanging out here, and so you're gonna be hanging out with the king. So let's bring over my other son. So I have my two good sons hanging out in Navarre. And so now I have 2 units of Gulan bodyguards in each of these 2 provinces. That feels better. That feels a lot better, for sure. And now I do have 2 boats in the Gulf of Valencia as well as the Gulf of Lions. That feels quite good because at this point, I mean, my boats are better than theirs. I'm just surprised that I feel like I lost at least like 3 boats to like one-on-one battles. And my stats are 1, 1, and a 3, and then the galleys that I'm fighting against are 1, 1, and 2. So I should be winning these battles, but now I do have 2 boats in these provinces, or these sea provinces, so that should be good. And I'm I'm 2 turns away from having a second boat here in the Gulf of Gabes. Looks like the Sicilians have brought a boat down to the Gulf of Gabes as well, so let's see if they attack me. They shouldn't. The Dromans are not as good in battle as the galleys. Whereas the galleys are 1, 1, and 2, the Dromans are 1, 0, and 4. So they have less defense, but they have, you know, twice as much speed. And the speed is good. It makes the Dromans a really annoying ship. It's a ship that just, if you're attacking it, man, it's just going to get away again and again and again. It's super, super annoying to have to deal with. They also have cheaper upkeep than galleys, so it's a really good ship just to have for trade purposes. But they should not be attacking me with Dromans because I just have a better, you know, I have more defense than them, slightly less speed, but still, that my defense should make the difference here. Hopefully. Again, we're just guessing here. I don't have any idea how the naval combat works. It's just all a mystery. So that being said, now I can finally train boats here in Algeria, so let's start doing that. I don't know, so it said I had insufficient funds to train everything, and I don't know what that was referring to because I don't know like what I was unable to train. Let's keep bringing in horses. I don't need any more Saharan Cav in Cyrenaica, so let's keep bringing my Saharan Cav up north because I can use them here in Spain. And I'll keep, I'm bringing these soldiers up. They're just 1 turn away from Cyrenaica, all of these guys, and that should be good. Like once all of these guys are hanging out in Cyrenaica, that should make sure that the Egyptians don't want to battle me. Now, I'm done with talking to the Egyptian king. He wants nothing to do with me. So let's try to talk to the Turks again. They broke their alliance with me because the Sicilians attacked me. And the Sicilians and the Turks are going to war together with the Byzantines. So that's why they are friends. Now, I have no problem with that in the theory. And for now, because there is a ceasefire called between me and the Sicilians, hopefully the Turks are going to be like, all right, let's be friends again. So that'd be cool. And hopefully, I'm not totally positive about this, but maybe having more friends will increase my king's influence rating. And by having more of an influence rating, maybe I can perhaps, like, say, get an alliance with the king of France and maybe the king of Egypt. Maybe that will help snowball that into getting friends all around the world. That'd be nice. So yeah, as I said, I don't know what I wasn't able to build in the last turn. That's kind of weird. I thought I wasn't like building that much stuff. Seems like maybe it was a boat. Maybe I didn't start training a boat where I wanted to. Huh. Well, in any case, I should be good. This looks fine, so let's keep moving along here. Yeah, still insufficient funds. Okay, well. Yeah, it looks like, okay, I forgot to look at how much boats cost. So, in air matures, I got Prince Ismail now. So, I think do I have 2 of those now? Two Ismails? I couldn't think of another name, eh? The Rubaiyat. 'Tis all a checkerboard of nights and days, where destiny with men for pieces plays. Hither and thither moves and mates and slays, and one by one back in the closet lays. As well as a poet, Omar Khayyam is also a physicist, mathematician, astronomer, and intellectual. His presence dampens zeal in Turkish provinces, but grants governors +1 acumen. That's really good, damn. Yeah, so this doesn't affect me, but the Turks now are getting more money now because all of their governors have more acumen. Sweet, good for them. Looks like the French still don't want to be my friends, and well, whatever. I expected that. And anything that I need to really pay attention to here, +1 valor, +1 morale for some dude here, Badis Abu Bakr. Let's see, crackbrained. Let's see, is this my Caliph? No, it's not my Caliph. Khalid, okay, yeah. The only thing that really matters I'm going to look at here is Prince Ismail. So he is a hedonist, so -1 valor because he's a little bit overweight. And he's also a natural leader, so +2 morale, +1 loyalty. Good shit, nice. I will take that. Yeah, +2 morale. If that really does affect his whole army that he leads, that's a good thing. Let's see, this has got 3 command, 3 dread, 3 piety, 5 loyalty, 1 acumen. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Even though he's a little bit overweight, so he's not going to be a great personal fighter, but you know, he looks very decent, I'd say. So where do I want him? Do I want him to hang out in Aragon and Navarre? Or do I want to bring him down to Cyrenaica to give me a competent general down here? Because right now I don't have one. I'm just bringing like a bunch of forces over here like that. And yeah, maybe I do just want like to send a decent general down there. I mean, 5 loyalty it's good enough. I think that's good enough. And I think having 2 units of Gulen bodyguards in each of Aragon and Navarre is sufficient. So it's not the worst idea to start bringing them down to Cyrenaica, I think. As I skip forward a couple of years, I am checking in on the Byzantine and Turkish War. It looks like the Byzantines are still holding on to Constantinople. So good for them. Bad for my Muslim brothers. And I did see during the end turn it showed me that the Byzantines were taking back Anatolia as well. So it looks like the Turks are possibly being pushed back after getting some initial gains against the Byzantines. I'm wondering, are the Byzantines? Yeah, they're just at war with the Sicilians and the Turks. And I wonder where they're fighting the Sicilians. Because I know the Byzantines do start the campaign with Naples and that the Sicilians can be a first enemy in this case, but I feel like they usually lose that so quickly that war ends and then they're no longer at war with the Sicilians just because of that automatic ceasefire thing. So it is curious that there's an ongoing war between the Byzantines and the Sicilians. I'm wondering kind of where and how that's playing out. I do want to continue though, just kind of focusing on. Can I not? Oh yeah, that's not an emissary. That's a priest. Okay. So yeah, I want to keep looking for the Turkish king. See if I can find him. Otherwise, I might just keep on burning through turns and yeah, working on my ships. Obviously, I have 2 ships and three of these sea provinces now, so that is good. And yeah, I do want to just kind of keep. I think the play is now, how do I want to do this? Now that I have 2 ships in a few of these provinces, see that's the thing though, like this is at least 3 or 4 ships of the Italians here in the Straits of Gibraltar, and that's obviously, this is a key region obviously, I mean in the real world and obviously in the game, because it does link the Mediterranean to the rest of the sea, the ocean. So this is pretty key, and does this mean I need to build up a bunch of ships to, you know, safely take this? As I've said, I don't want war with the Italians, but Yeah, that's a decent show of force right there, and that's enough to make me a little bit nervous for sure. Yeah, it's hard to know. It's hard to know how much I should be building up and how much I should be sending my boats out to, touch more provinces, obviously. It would be nice to just spread my boats out and get as much trade as possible, but just the fact that the Sicilians and the Italians were attacking me for a moment there makes me very, very wary of doing that. So, but, I have 3 boats here in the coast of Verde. So let's send at least 1 boat out here to the Bay of Biscay so I can at least trade with Brittany. And then, if I get a second boat, it would be nice to go up to here to trade with Normandy and Flanders as well. And then start working my way down the coast and do the Spanish coast. I could trade with the Spanish coast. And then I could start linking these provinces, to the rest of my provinces over here. Yeah, that's probably going to be the play. And my income is still, it's okay, I guess. Could be better. Definitely could be better. And it would be better if I could spread my boats out. But I just feel like now that I have at least a couple 2-boat fleets here, I kind of want to keep it that way. Just in case I do need to, show my force again and defend my coasts against the Italians or the Sicilians or anyone else that decides to poke their nose where it doesn't belong. Oh, and I should mention that Prince Yusuf has come of age, so now this is my 5th heir who is of age now, and yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, 4 command, 3 dread, 1 acumen, 3 piety, 4 loyalty, so not bad at all. Secret Blackmailer. So what this means is that when, right now it doesn't mean anything, but this will build. This is one of those vices that will turn into something else. So it will just become a Blackmailer at some point once the secret gets out. And that means he will lose loyalty, which is not great because right now he's only at 4. So losing loyalty is going to put him down in the danger zone. And I think 3 is a danger zone. 4 also is not great, but yeah, so that's a little bit, that's worth keeping an eye on for sure. But for now, I mean, he's in the same provinces as king, so that should be okay. So let's keep moving along here. And this is good news as well. The Byzantines are finally at war with the Egyptians. I like the looks of that because hopefully that will put me in a position where I can get an alliance with the Egyptians now that they are facing, an actual conflict on this border. I can only hope. So that's, yeah, I hope that's good news. So maybe I can get an alliance back with the Turks and that can go to the Egyptians. Now, what that does mean is that the Byzantines are probably kicking ass right now. Looks like they are taking back some territory that they previously lost to the Turks. So there's that. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind being able to come over here and help them out if I can get my boats going and actually coming over here and just like sack Constantinople just to kind of like take it and make life hard for them. That'd be totally cool. Obviously, I'm a ways off from being able to do that just based on my own naval prowess. But if the Turks and or Egyptians are still alive by the time I can actually get my navy going, I wouldn't mind doing that just because it can keep the Byzantines held down a bit. The thing with the glorious achievements idea is that obviously just based on how things are going right now, things are pretty good. If I keep just sitting on my homelands, I'm going to keep making a bunch of points and I will keep being in first place. But eventually these homeland points are going to change around a bit and I'll be making less and less or I can't quite remember, but I think for the Almohads it just gets lower. And for the Byzantines, a lot of times I've seen them kick a lot of ass for sure, which is surprising because they will get attacked by the Mongolians at some point during the campaign. And I really, really thought that the Mongolians were going to like knock down the Byzantines down a peg. And in the campaigns that I've played, it does not seem to be the case. The Byzantines just turn around, kick the Mongolians' ass, and then they go back to conquering the rest of the world, which is very impressive. And in fact, that's something that I've noticed in medieval Total War in general, is it seems like the two factions that end up in the most wars, which are the French and the Byzantines, typically seem to be doing okay. Like in the campaigns that I've played, it's the French and the Byzantines that seem pretty good. So that's shocking because in Shogun, it would be the faction that gets, dogpiled, which loses, first of all, which is Oda most of the time. And yeah, here it's like the French and the Byzantines somehow kick ass, and it's surprising. I'm not too worried about the French in the long run because if they end up becoming a little bit too big for their britches, well, they're right here. So I can just kind of be like, all right, screw you. And I can just burn down a bunch of their territory. I can take it if I want it, or I can just kind of attack them, burn down all of their lands, and then retreat back to my territories and try to, try to create a civil war or something. or just make them weak so that their neighbors can take them out. So that's fine. I can easily kind of keep the French in check. Now the Byzantines, obviously, having to like use my navy to keep them in check can be harder, but that makes having a strong navy even more important, you know? So obviously that's going to be the key going forward, because if they keep catching up in points as far as, you know, GA points is concerned, being able to nip on over here and take like Greece or Constantinople, burn down all of their nice buildings and then like retreat and then try to let the Turks or the Egyptians try to mess them up would be a good option for me. So we will see how that goes. I do want to do that sooner rather than later, because if they build up a really good navy, then it can be really hard to fight through the Byzantine navy before I do that. So that's it would be a good idea to really do that, you know, sooner rather than later, as I said. So something to keep an eye on for sure. Now that I have fast forwarded a few years here, I do have a few more boats in the water, and that includes the Straits of Gibraltar. That feels pretty good, and that means that these territories up here, with their trade resources like Valencia and Cordoba and Morocco, pretty soon are going to be able to reach these ports over here in the Nile coast, like Egypt and Palestine and Tripoli. And that's going to be very, very good for me, because that's going to be a lot of money. So that feels pretty good. I just need one more boat before I can link those together. And I still need to link these provinces, I mean these ports up here, to the rest of my, you know, my boats. But I'm going to take my time with this one. As soon as I get my boat ready here in Lyon, I'm just going to bring them up to the English Channel so I can trade with these two ports in Wessex and Normandy. Yeah, that feels pretty good up there. And then I can start going down to the Spanish coast and then link it up with the rest of my nations or my provinces. So that's going to feel pretty good there. I'm making okay money. 922 is okay. But that's just going to skyrocket. And I am still being very conservative with making sure that I have a few provinces with at least 2 boats in them. Not all of them, but, you know, just a few of them. I'm still kind of wary of the Italians. So I do want to have some numbers where I can have them. This is a really good area for me because I have 4 ports. Am I trading? Do they have? Yeah, Zio Silk. This one does have silk, so I can't really make much money off them. Tuscany. Yeah, they just have wool, so I can trade with them. And Corsica. Yeah. So yeah, 3 of these 4 ports I am trading with, which is really nice because silk is my main thing here in Valencia and Cordoba, although I do have hides as well. So yeah, making money off hides is good, and I do have hides here in Morocco as well. So yeah, that's going to feel good. And yeah, once I can trade with these provinces over here, that's going to feel very good as well. Unfortunately, the Italians and the Turks still don't want to be my friends, which is too bad, but I'm going to keep trying here because they are fighting the Byzantines, and I think the Byzantines are winning this war, so they might at some point say, you know what, we were wrong. We were wrong about you, the Almohads. Let's be friends. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on that. I think as far as being attacked by the Egyptians, that's just not going to happen now because this feels pretty good as far as troops on the border. And this feels okay too. I know the French looks like they have a lot of scary troops up here, but they don't. They really don't. It's just all numbers. It's not good quality at all. So I hope they don't attack me. The fact that they're still only at war with the English is a little worrisome because I feel like by now they are usually at war with like half the world, but right now they still are only at war with the English. Hopefully pretty soon they start fighting the Germans and you know, whoever else. That'd be great. That'd be fine with me because the more pressure off my borders, the happier that I will be. So yeah, I know that right now I'm just kind of working on boats, but that's going to be key because once I get a great economy going, I can really influence the rest of the world. You know, I can really just kind of reach out, touch somebody. If I need to influence the war in, the Byzantines and the Turks, I can go reach out and do that easily once I have fleets and money. So that's something that I'm going to have to keep on working on, but that is all going to have to wait until the next time. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and thank you very much for watching. I've been Conostep, and this has been Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.